Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing layers because I'm freezing. It's just been really cold. It was raining yesterday, but whatever. No one cares. But yeah, I'm just freezing. I saw something that made me laugh because it's just another example of woke of woke bullshit. You know the the game that nerds used to play, World of Warcraft. Not World of Warcraft. Well, nerds still play that game too, but actually, Dungeons and Dragons. Tabletop game where you know, pretend to be an elf with a +4 sword and all that crap. Yeah, like the game that you used to make fun of people who played, and then it became hip on YouTube because a bunch of voice actors got together and filmed themselves playing D&D called Critical Role, so it became hip, and so then everyone started to play. And then what happened when everyone started to play D&D? That's when activists joined and tried to change everything, and that's why D&D is gay now, basically. So D&D used to be cool, then everyone else joined it, and now it's lame and gay. But anyway, oh yeah, and that's why I don't play it anymore, because they started changing everything. Because once again, the wrong kind of people were let into the hobby. But that's beside the point. It's just a game. There's other options. Like you can play basic fantasy, which is what I recommend. It's the non woke version of Dungeons and Dragons. But anyway, they've decided to make D&D a lifestyle brand, so like a bunch of clothing basically. And guess who the clothes are targeted towards? Women and non-binary players. Um the How many years did I play before the game got too woke? Let's just say 30 years, okay? In my 30 years of playing, I want to say, you know, 3% of the people I played with were women. Okay. Now I know people think because they see a popular YouTube group uh, playing D&D that it's like 50% women, but it's not. Um, it is predominantly a a male hobby. We're talking like 97%. So if you wanted to make money, don't you think that's who your target audience should be? Just with anything, like it doesn't have to be this. I'm just talking about a bad business decision. Every time I see a bad business decision like this, I make a video about it. You guys who've been watching this podcast for the past 4 years would know this, but it's just a bad decision. Like if I whatever, like I sell a product, that product happens to go up your nose. I sell that product, okay? And I know that the majority of the people who buy my product, you know, um, like don't like flour cut in the product. So it's in my best interest to not cut the product with flour. Okay. But then I find out that there's 3 people that buy from me actually want that. and the other, and despite with the other 40 customers I have, I'm gonna cater to the three customers. Well, you're gonna lose business. So it's the same thing with this D&D becoming a lifestyle brand, and you're catering to women and non-binary players. So basically you're catering to 3% of the player base, and that 3% is just women because non-binary isn't real. There's only two genders, men and women. Okay, so basically you're catering to 3% of the player base. Okay, think about how much money you could have made if you just made it for guys. Yeah, I mean, you could throw in some girl stuff too, but I would have done 90% of the product, and it's clothes, hats, it's a lifestyle brand. I would have made it for men, and then throw in some pink shirts. I don't understand like why these companies are afraid to make money and why they are afraid to appease men. You remember so many of these hobbies. See, like people try to brainwash you to make you think that, oh yeah, like whatever hobby. Oh yeah, like millions of trans people play Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, no, they don't. Um, it's like millions of non-binary people play Dungeons and Dragons. No, they don't. They don't. Um, so trying to normalize a lie is just, well, it doesn't work on me. But what you're gonna see is, you know, they're gonna have to make a limited amount of product, because if you're targeting a certain group that doesn't make up a big percentage of the hobby, you're going to have to make, instead of making millions of shirts to sell in dresses, you're going to have to make thousands. Like, you might make a profit, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table, and we have to. And it's too late for this hobby, but you know when like the kiss of death for every hobby is when they say it's for everyone. When that label gets put on anything, it means it's already too late, because it means the wrong kind of people are involved, and it was the kind of people who felt left out because it didn't have some like modern day bullshit in it. So once again, like, if you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, there's a rule book, but the thing is, it's just a reference. Like, you could do anything you want in it, so technically, you know it's always been for everyone. But like, if you want to have a gay prom in your D&D story, you can. I don't know why you would, but but when you say it, when it gets to label it's for everyone, it means it's been poisoned by modern day bullshit, and there's probably like a Donald Trump monster in the game now. So, but I stopped playing a while ago. It's just another hobby or IP that's been taken over by activists and feminists, and people who want to push bullshits. Like Star Wars is dead. Doctor Who, you saw what happened with that. Now Warhammer 40K has gone woke. They have what are they called? Okay, so in Warhammer 40K you probably don't follow it, but just in case you do, everyone has heard of Space Marines, right? Okay, well that came from Warhammer 40K, and like a Space Marine is basically a 8 foot tall um, augmented human male. They implant a gene seed into the person, and then that helps their body grow to 8 feet tall, and it makes a couple of organs and like extra organs, and then they implant a couple of extra organs into the person's body, and then they grow in size and become this, superhuman fighting soldier. Like they'll have like two hearts, an extra lung. They can, if they eat like the flesh of someone, they can get their memories, like they can spit acid, like there's just a bunch of things. But the thing is, they can only be men because the gene seed only works with male DNA. Okay, which it makes sense. It's in the lore. Then in that franchise, they have, and I'm going to say the name wrong, so I'm just going to call them Ultra Space Marines. And these are made differently. They're basically made by magic. It's they call it like, I believe they call it biocrafting. I believe, and I forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's biocrafting. Like I follow Warhammer 40K. I know I don't play it because it costs too much, but I know the whole story. But a lot of the names are hard to say for me. uh, Adeptus Custodes. That's what it's called. They're like the advanced version of the Space Marine, and they don't leave Earth. They actually protect the god of mankind. I'm sorry, the emperor of mankind. So they are the elite of the elite, and they are only guys. They are chosen from from like nobles, like noble houses, and they will take the sons of high ranking citizens, and turn them into ultra space marines. But it's only men, and it's been that way since the inception back in like 1980, 85, I think. And now they've made it so that there's female ultra space marines. And you know why they did that? Because BlackRock has stock in Games Workshop, which is the company that owns Warhammer. So BlackRock is pushing woke nonsense, and so now they're gonna make, and so that's, it's like another hobby ruin. And like if you go online, you see people complaining like, it's, we've never had female space marines, why now? And then like they replied and said, oh no, they've always been there. So like they lied, whatever, it doesn't matter. But this is another example of a hobby catering to, I don't know, like the three people online who don't play, who are demanding female space marines. And so now it's going to happen, and I am going to predict what's going to happen to Warhammer 40K. Okay, it is going to slowly but surely lose millions. Okay, like all the hardcore fans, like the people who have dedicated their lives to this stupid game, sorry, to this wonderful game, are going to stop playing. Okay, or they're going to pirate the products, because the little miniatures that they have, you can 3D print that easy. Okay, so 3D printing, the black market, 3D printing is going to go up like crazy. All the books they put out, all the you know all the books they have of like the lore, the rules, the novels, people are gonna pirate those, or just stick with the old stuff and pretend everything else that's being made is just BS, kind of like Disney Star Wars. There's a lot of people who just only count the first 6 movies and just have forgotten about the rest. And that's just going to happen to Warhammer 40K. They're going to lose a lot of money, and then they're going to realize, well, yeah, we got investment money from BlackRock for being, ESG and all that crap, but we've actually have lost money because of sales. And so they're going to have to make a choice. It might take 5 years. It might take 7. But 5 to 7 years down the line, they're going to have to make a choice and dump BlackRock and then try to fix everything. And I bet you any amount of money, because I've heard rumors that they're gonna bring back or resurrect the Emperor of Mankind. I bet you any amount of money, when he comes back, he's gonna be a woman, and that's just gonna blow the roof off of everything. And I bet you that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna come back as a woman. And if you follow the series, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. But it's basically like there's this guy, he rules all of mankind. Okay, and he's basically God, but he died in the Horus Heresy, and he sits on a golden throne, but he's still alive, kind of. It's weird, but anyway, um, yeah. So we're gonna watch this clothing brand die, this D&D clothing brand die, and we're gonna watch Warhammer 40K die slowly, but it's going to die. And I don't know why companies are so afraid to sell to men, to heterosexual men who buy the product. Or not just that. I don't know why people are afraid to sell a product to the people who actually buy the product. But I don't know why people just can't accept this type of person likes this, so we're going to sell to this person. Instead, they're like just looking over that person's shoulder and trying to see who's behind them when there's no one behind them. It's just bad business. It makes no sense. And it's like, I don't, how many more companies have to like lose money by catering to something that's not there? Like, making clothes for non-binary people compared to making clothes for men or making clothes for women is stupid. Because non-binary people, well, don't exist, but let's just play along, make up 1% of the population. Actually, less than 1%. I'm talking about on the planet Earth. Non-binary people make up less than 1% of the population. Why would you make a product for less than 1% of the population? It's just bad business. Really bad business. I don't know. It just I don't know. I don't know. It's like this makes me think we live in a simulation. because this is just clown world bullshit, because we keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Okay? I don't know. People don't like money, I guess. Anyway, I've said enough. I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good one. Peace.